Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. Your opening comments have inspired me so much that rather than reading off the prepared statement that the staff has prepared for me to say, I'm going to ask unanimous consent to put it in the record, and I'll respond to my friend the chairman extemporaneously.
Without objection.
The topic of this hearing, $4 gasoline and fuel economy, I think is symptomatic of why we've got a big problem in this country. We have $4 gallon gasoline today because we have deliberately not exploited our domestic resources. And while I'm the first to say that we can't drill our way out of high gas prices, locking up all of our domestic resources and not wanting to drill practically anywhere where it is economically feasible has contributed to the high gas prices. And while it will probably take 10 to 20 years for us to fully benefit from drilling in the outer continental shelf and in other places, had we started that 10 or 20 years ago, maybe we wouldn't be in the pickle that we're in today, and our constituents and consumers are having to suffer the cost of the high gas prices. Now, overlaying all of this is the increase in the CAFE standards that the chairman is very proud of. Listening to what he said today when CAFE was first passed in 1975, we saw a huge decrease in the percentage of imported oil. Well, what's happened is that we passed CAFE, the percentage of imported oil has gone up, and meantime the majority party 2 or 3 times has passed legislation that actually repeals the domestic production tax credit for developing domestic resources, which makes it cheaper for the oil companies to buy more oil overseas. Now, the result of all of this is starting to show up in lost jobs and lost good-paying jobs. The major employer in Janesville, Wisconsin is General Motors. They make SUVs there. There are highly skilled, highly paid members of the United Auto Workers that will be losing their jobs between now and 2010 because GM has decided that the market is not going to support having a full-fledged production facility for SUV vehicles which are made in Janesville, Wisconsin. And all of these people are going to lose their jobs. And they're going to lose their jobs because of the short-sightedness of people who say we can't drill, we ought to increase taxes on domestic production of oil, we ought to raise CAFE standards so that these types of vehicles cannot meet them and effectively are legislating themselves out of the market. And this is the type of attitude where people go around saying Congress knows best and we know what's good for you rather than you know what's good for yourself in deciding how you're going to spend your dollars. Now, I guess I'm particularly disturbed given what's happened in Wisconsin with a big GM plant closing and a lot of UAW members being thrown out of work. With all due respect to my colleague from Nashville, Ms. Blackburn, that we invite somebody from Nissan here to talk about this. Nissan's a Japanese company, and it seems to me if we want to keep production in the United States and we want those profits to be repatriated in the United States rather than being sent to a foreign country, we ought to be working with General Motors and Chrysler and with Ford to developing solutions rather than providing a forum for a representative of a Japanese company. Now, there are all kinds of solutions that are on the table. One of the solutions that we have been discussing in this committee is cap and tax, and that's what it is.